To understand machine learning, let's first try to understand what is traditional programming. In traditional programming, you write rules and logic manually. The computer processes input using those rules to produce output. For example, let's say that we have this very simple example where the function sum two numbers, which takes two inputs, a and b, and returns us the sum of the a plus b. So it doesn't matter how many times we call this function, it will exactly return us sum of the a plus b. If we call it 100 times or we call it billion times, doesn't matter. It will return us exactly sum of two numbers because we define here rule and we define the logic. In comparison, in the machine learning, what we do is we feed the computer with the input and output examples, and the computer learns the rules from that data. The model learns the rule from the data that we are giving to that model. The perfect example would be that if we create a model that would recognize, if we create a model and we give a picture of an animal, and then the output, it gives us the name, right? Either it's a cat or it's a dog and so on. Let's say that we train our model to recognize cat. So in the input, we give different cat pictures. So what happens is, in the next time, after we trained our model, now we are calling a predict function. Now we are giving a picture of a cat, and in the output it recognizes it and it gives us exactly it gives us the label of cat. So let's say that if we give it a picture of a dog, and in the output it gives us a label of a dog. So that's why how we train our model. So let's define machine learning one more time. So machine learning is a subfield of artificial intelligence that focuses on building systems that can learn from data and improve their performance over time without being explicitly programmed. So as we have seen in comparison with the traditional programming, in traditional programming, we are exactly defining rule and logic, but in case of the machine learning, we are building a model and we are feeding to that model the data, and the model learns from that data that we are giving to it. So what are the basic machine learning workflow? If we are building a model, let's say that we want to create a model that will recognize the pictures or for some different purposes. So what is the basic workflow for the machine learning? The first one is the most important part of the machine learning is data. We need to collect the data. We need to gather relevant data for the problem we are solving. For example, let's say that if we are building a data for recognizing different animals, then we need to gather a lot of pictures with the different animals, with the cats, with the dogs, and so on. The next one, we need to prepare data. What does it mean is preparing, meaning that the cleaning and the processed data to make it more suitable for the training. So that involves, first one is removing. So let's say we gathered a lot of data, but there are a lot of unnecessary data. So we are removing those. And the second one is the labeling that data. For example, let's say that the picture of a dog, we are labeling as a dog. For a cat, we are labeling as a cat, and so on. The next one is that train a model. So in this part, we are using an algorithm to create a model that learn patterns from that data. We call it a model. For example, we can use different algorithms. That's the purpose of this course. So we are going to learn the different algorithms for creating a model. We are training our model. And after that, what we do is, as a last step, we are evaluating the model. So we are testing the model, or how accurate is it? And we are also testing the performance of that model. So, for example, in previous example, let's say we have trained the model with the different pictures. Now, as a test model, so we are giving different pictures that we haven't used in the training, and we are testing that how accurate our model is. So to summarize, what is machine learning? Machine learning is a subfield of the subfield of the artificial intelligence, and also in this course we are going to focus on the machine learning, but also we are going to have a different course, which is the deep learning, which is a subfield of the machine learning, and also we are going to spend a bit time to learn the neural network as a part of the deep learning, and also we are going to learn about the LLM, which is the subfield of the deep learning.